that we've done. I would give you all the steps, you just have to be able to do them. So, first thing, I want the degree here. What is the degree? Highest ever. When our terms are added and subtracted, we are just looking at what is the highest. So what is the degree here? Alright, in behavior, a couple of us are still struggling with that. When we are talking about end behavior, there are two options. It can look like a parabola, or it can look like a chair. When does it look like a parabola? Even degree. Because a parabola is with an x squared. So when would it look like a chair? Odd degree. Because a chair is cubed, and that's odd. And then we flip for a negative coefficient. All right, so when I'm looking at this one, I look at that 3x to the 4th. My degree is even, so I know it looks like a parabola. We have a positive coefficient, so it does not flip. So both ends are pointing up. So when I draw my graph, I know both ends will be going up. All right, how do we find, is this one that I could factor nicely? No, so this one requires everything. If I want a list of possible zeros, what do I have to do? P's and Q's. The P's come from the constant. What is everything that divides 8 evenly? Q is the leading coefficient, so everything that divides 3 evenly. That would just be 1 and 3. How do we get possible zeros? P divided by Q. So each P divided by each Q. So 1 over 1 is 1. 1 over 3. 8 over 1 is 8. 8 over 3. 2 over 1 is 2. 2 over 3. 4 over 1 is 4. And 4 over 3. Does everyone understand how I got that list? From here, the next thing I asked you to find, we need to get our factored form and our zeros. So what do I have to do? We have to plug them in until we find what? Something that makes it equal 0. All right, you guys get to work there. Start plugging them in. Everybody should grab a calculator and start checking it. When you find one that makes it 0, let me know. Once you find that first 0, we have to go ahead and do synthetic division. I know some people want to just plug in every single number until you find 4 that work, but is this list actually everything? No, these are just the rational ones. So if we have i's, if we have radicals, we're not going to find them from this list. So that's why we start with our division after that. So we'll divide by our -1. Coefficients, 3, -7, -6, 12, and 8. So 3 comes down. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Negative 7 plus negative 3 is negative 10. Negative 10 times negative 1 is 10. Plus negative 6 is 4. Negative 4, 8. And negative 0. Okay. So that's my remainder constant x squared, x cubed. So it's currently 3x cubed minus 10x squared plus 4x plus 8. Does that factor nicely? No. So what do we do? Find another one. You can plug them into here. Now it's a little bit shorter. Anything that you've already checked, if it didn't work, it still won't work. Negative 1 could work again, so it's worth checking. And then start plugging in numbers that you haven't checked. Let me know when you find one. Two works. So we do our synthetic with the quotient we had from the first time and our 2. And now we have 3x squared minus 4x minus 4. What do I do at this point? You can, or we could do slip and slide. Probably be more time efficient at this point. Oops. Squared minus 4x minus 12. Multiply negative 12, add to negative 4. Divide by 3. So we get x minus 2, 3x plus 2. What else do we need? Right. Negative 1 works, so that's an x plus 1. 2 works, so that's an x minus 2. But do I want x minus 2 written twice? No, so what would I do instead? Square it. Okay, so all of this was to get my factored form. Part E. We want the zeros. What makes x minus 2 equal 0? Positive 2. And that's a multiplicity of 2. Okay, what about 3x plus 2? Negative 2/3. And x plus 1. Negative 1. Tell me if it would bounce or go through on each of those. So at 2 it will. Okay. Y-intercept. How do we find a y-intercept? Plug 0 in for x. You can do it in your factored form. You can go back and do it in the original. So what would that be? 8. All right, so now we graph it all. So we hit the y-axis at 8. Okay, our x-axis was at 2, negative 2/3, and negative 1. We know both ends are pointing up. So we start here at -1. Did our graph bounce or go through? At, whoops, I graphed that at, yeah. At -2/3, did it bounce or go through? Is our 8. And at 2, do we bounce or go through? Bounce. And so it looks like this. So that's a problem that really ties in a lot. All of our graphing stuff as well as all of our P's and Q's. Are there questions on that? Do we need to do another problem like this? Do we need any problems like yesterday, our factoring techniques? Did you guys have any issues with those? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm giving you the study guide now, and you have time to work on it. We'll see how much we get done before the end of class, and we'll